Kingdom Chics Reconstructed is all about the kingdom. Women, men, young adults, seasoned saints, or babes in Christ can join the conversation. We're just four Kingdom Chicks being reconstructed by God to share our thoughts and our perspectives on taboo topics that will provoke thought to edify the kingdom.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Saved Bae, aka Tremayne Winn, aka Coach T, and I have a ministry called Slay Bible Ministry, where my misery and my pain is my ministry to women. What I do is I help women heal, be set free, forgive, walk in their kingdom purpose, heal from toxic relationships, break soul ties, and all the above. I'm here with you on your journey to purpose.
Hey guys, I'm Coach Tasha Delk. I help women who feel broken, who lack self-identity, and those who have low self-esteem. I help them to create an action plan to move forward with their healing to become their best selves. I am the owner and the CEO of Free Me Coaching, and this is where women break free to their true potential to become their most authentic selves. You can call me your identity coach. I desire for you to be bold, to be authentic, but most of all, to be you.
My name is Shonte Joseph, founder of G.O.A.T. Our movement is to inspire women emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. God has called me to encourage women in faith, to identify self, to grow in forgiveness, and to break generational curses. To be a successful Christian woman, we must have wisdom each and every day. Our motto is Proverbs 4:5-13.
What's good, my radical people? This is LaDena Chisum, aka Coach L of the Radical Life brand, your spiritual life coach, helping you to become unapologetically bold and purposely authentic. I don't push dreams, I push purpose. Let's break some generational cycles.
Hey guys, it's Kingdom Chics Reconstructed. I hope that you guys are excited. We have some special guests on tonight, and I am so excited to be here, as y'all can tell. And I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself. I am Coach Tasha Delk, and we are getting ready to get started with this conversation. And I'm a realtor, speaker, coach, an author, and I'm just excited to be here. And I'm gonna pass it over to you, Coach L.
What's good, y'all? This is your girl, Coach L. As y'all already know, this is Kingdom Chics Reconstructed. We have the cast from the #1 Tubi show in the building, so I am excited. Y'all know all about your girl. We don't push dreams, we push purpose. So thank y'all for joining us this evening.
Shonte, are you lagging?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Shonte. Yes, I am a little bit, but we're gonna keep it moving. Hey y'all, it's your girl Shonte Joseph here, founder of She Wise, and what we do, we just make sure that women are using wisdom each and every day, as far as in lifestyles, what we deal with situations, and we just make sure that we get educated with the wisdom part of things.
Absolutely. Maxie, if you want to bring our guests in so that they can introduce themselves.
And before we allow our guests to introduce ourselves, y'all, please make sure y'all share the broadcast and make sure that y'all like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and don't forget that we are on all podcast platforms.
Hey, Brandi. Hey, Tony. Hi, y'all. Ooh,
Hello.
I'm so excited. Okay, well, we'll go
Yes.
and y'all can go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tone, I know that you are one of the producers, so I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone. Hello to my beautiful sister. Coach
Hello.
L, LaDena, I'm so super proud of you, friend.
Thank you,
Sister friend,
sister.
so super proud of you. But yes, and so super proud of Tasha and Shonte. Like I can't wait to meet y'all. So we'll do a whole Tony Nicole off air type of thing. But
Yes.
anyway, guys, I'm Tony Nicole. I am the host and one of the executive producers of the GOAT Empowerment Competition, which is streaming now live #1 on Tubi. Woo, woo,
One.
woo, woo, woo. The first and
One.
only empowerment show, reality show for speakers, pastors, coaches, life coaches. If you think you can speak, you are featured on this show. So we're super excited. It's our first season. We're just literally we're stoked and we're excited about all the press and attention and all the fun stuff that's been happening for us. I do have to introduce Dr. Diana Watley. There's been so much back and forth going about who's created the show and who was the first one to create an
Come on.
empowerment show. So I got to give my kudos to my bestie, my business partner, and our fabulous and amazing creator, the only creator, Dr. Diana Watley. She is not able to join the call today, so I'm coming in just on she texted me 5 minutes ago and told me I had to jump on. And when I said, well, whose show is it? She's like, LaDena. I was like, okay, I got you. So yes. GOAT Empowerment Competition #1 show on Tubi right now. Thanks to our beautiful creator, Dr. Diana Watley. And again, I'm Tony Nicole. I'm the host, mompreneur, entrepreneur, business and beauty expert.
Did it go out?
We can hear you
Did
now.
we go out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So no, we to the amazing Brandi Little. How are you, babe?
Hi. Hi. How are you guys?
We are great,
This is
Brandi.
so
How are you?
beautiful. I'm good. I'm so glad to be here. Right before we went on, I saw the actual name for the show. You know, before I was just seeing the K, whatever. This is beautiful because I like to consider myself reconstructed as well too. So I love the name and I love everything that you guys stand for. Like you guys said, my name is Brandi Little. I am an artist first. I sing, I write, I act as well, and I just got into public speaking when I auditioned for the GOAT. So I'm really excited to be stepping into the speaking realm because for me, anytime I speak, it's just about giving God glory, as I know that this is why you guys do this show. So I'm really excited.
That is amazing. I love it, love it, love it. Love it.
Absolutely. And I just first want to say congratulations to both of you. I think this is something that's extremely awesome. Like you said, there's nothing out there like it. I do have a question though that I want to ask is like, because I think that a lot of times we don't really equate the setbacks that come with something that's so great. And, you know, we don't take into account any setbacks. So have you guys like witnessed any setbacks or anything with the production of the show? Anything that, like, Brandi, I know that I'm sorry, y'all, my background a little loud. But just like any setbacks that you guys have experienced with the show.
So with any great idea or great concept comes setback. And this is our third time doing this show. So Dr. Watley came to my house. Like I said, we're best friends about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago with this concept. And we were kind of trying to understand, like, is there really a place for such a powerful, impactful, non-drama filled reality show in the world of reality TV? So that was our first setback, trying to create and develop something positive for our culture to watch and be thrilled to see with no drama, no fighting, no cussing. Like, we really wanted to create a beautiful space for people to be able to take away something emotionally, right? So the first setback was actually getting the show done and getting it together with the understanding that we may never get picked up. But the faith that we had and the belief, like just believing that this idea and concept will come to fruition and we will be able to promote this and produce this to the masses. This is technically season 3 for us because we've done it twice already. The first time the devil stepped in immediately. We weren't able to get our footage. We did this huge casting call. We did the entire show. And the guy that we were dealing with, the production company we were dealing with, completely flaked on us. And we had no footage. So then we did it again during COVID. And we had to do everything via YouTube and reality in a way of just YouTube. So this third time around, which is technically season 1, I think our biggest setback has been just getting it out there, because we shot this, Brandi, we shot this, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
We filmed it 2 years ago. So the setback was showing this to like your BETs and VH1s and TV1s and these other platforms, huge platforms that viewed the project and was kind of like, oh yeah, it's a dope concept, but nope, don't fit our platform. You know why? Because it wasn't filled with drama. It wasn't filled with, it was too positive for a lot of networks to pick it up. So when we finally got over that setback and Tubi decided that, hey, yes, we think this is a brilliant idea and it's beautiful, and yes, we want it, that's when we were like, oh, wow, all of the setbacks, all of our hard work, it meant something, because it would have been easy for us to get discouraged and say, no, we've been doing this thing for 3-4 years, we're done with it. But we didn't. We continued to move past any distractions that we had to get this show on board, to get it on TV.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Brandi, did you have any setbacks or anything that you experienced with, coming to the show, and any experiences while you were in the show? What are some things that you could share with us that you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I'm an open book, know that. So one thing for sure is when I went to go audition for the GOAT in October of 2021, I was also supposed to be filming a movie. So I was up for, like, when I won the competition, I was really crying too, because I was so tired, because I had been up for 48 hours. Like, I would leave set from the GOAT and then go do this little filming project. So I was so tired. I was like, I finally get to sleep. But it was really hard for me because I missed out on my opportunity to do the show. But I'm telling you, God kept pulling me to continue on. Each day they were like, well, you're going to be here a little bit longer. I'm like, golly, I'm supposed to be somewhere else. But God made a reason for me to be there, and I was. But the hardest part for me was I won this show in 2021. And so I had to be quiet this whole time. I couldn't tell anybody. And for me, this was a life-changing experience, okay? I won a TV show about speaking when I'm not even a trained public speaker. That's the indicator that God ordains wins. This was a God thing. And so I had to hold on to this. And now I'm putting public speaker in my bio. And people are like, I thought you was an actor and a singer. You all on Amazon and all. You chart in the UK. You talking about you ain't no public speaker. So I felt at war with my own identity that people didn't know. So truthfully, when I met some of you guys at the premiere, it was almost like I won all over again. It was like I finally got to have my moment and what was so special for me. So yes, it was a lot for me, but patience is a virtue, and I'm glad it happened the way it did.
That did something for me right there. Holy Spirit, come on in here, okay?
Amen.
That did something because of the simple fact that, listen, when it's God ordained, you don't need no training. You don't got to be asked. Like, it just comes naturally, and that's how you know that God was in the midst of, you winning this competition. So thank you for sharing that. Well, I do want to start with, I've known Tremayne for some years. When I hear the GOAT, like when it comes to ATL all the way from Waukegan, you understand what I'm saying? Like, my sis has done it. I've watched her and Diana really kill the game on so many platforms, from Diana being, one that has an empowerment CD that went out. I've watched Diana run for city council and Tremayne manage her. I've watched them kill the empowerment speaking game in Atlanta. Like, they have really, really showed up and showed out in the ATL. So I do want to kind of just go back a little bit and talk about how it was going into this arena, period. Becoming an empowerment speaker. Dr. Diana was the #1 top motivational speaker in Atlanta at one point in time. All the endeavors that you all have done, how does it feel at this point right now to be able to say that with God, he came in and your faith was strong enough to get you to this point through all of your endeavors? Can you explain to people like the amount of sweat and tears and equity that you have in business as itself? Because they are also authors. Come on, like I'm giving flowers now. Do you hear me? I'm giving flowers right now. Okay, I've been watching my sisters kill it. So can you talk a little bit about that, Tone?
I think that it really all like plays to having complete, and a lot of people talk about this unshakable faith, right? And a lot of people always talk about being faithful. But if you don't understand that unshakable faith means that there is absolutely zero fear, like zero, you can't have both. And I talk about that so much to like my entrepreneurs and budding business owners that I work with on a regular basis, and they are literally on the line of faith and fear. And I'm like, look, faith and fear are not sisters. They are not twins. They don't even like each other. So you have to pick a side that you want. So it's either you're going to be completely 100% faithful, or you're going to live in fear and you're going to let fear dictate, rule your life. And we know that a lot of people, they say that they're faithful, but they're really not. Like, they're really not. So in order to get to where Diana and I are and where we have been traveling this entire time, we have just been faithful, dedicated to just understanding that you and her and I, us as people, as women, we don't know what the future holds for us. The only thing that we do know is what we can do at this present moment that's going to look great and assist us and help us to get to our next level. We don't know what the future holds. And that's a problem that a lot of us have. We're so far into the future that we can't understand, recognize, appreciate, show gratitude to God for what is happening right now. And if you're not grateful for being in your 1-bedroom apartment, driving your bust down car, barely having money to feed your kids, if you're not grateful in that moment, you're not going to get to the future of this abundance of finance. I want financial freedom. I want a better car. I want all these things, but God can't bless no mess. And he also wants you to understand that you have to appreciate where you are in your life at this present moment. Because if you don't thank God first before asking for all this stuff, you're not going anywhere. You're going to be in a circle, just going around and around and around. So I think that just being dedicated to being faithful and having gratitude and understanding that where I am at this place in my life, I am okay with that. And I am thankful that I can be here because I woke up this morning. I have a life ahead of me. I don't know what the future holds. Only thing I can do is plan for the best, but that plan and preparation comes from right now, and then it goes into your future. So I think I'm not trying to get all preachy and all that stuff on you guys. I'm just
but you did that. But you did that. Okay.
I'm just saying,
Definitely snap.
People say they're faithful, but they're really fearful, and
Yeah.
they just don't work well together at all.
And I hope y'all caught all those nuggets, because there was some good nuggets. Okay, she dropped them jewels. Mona, thank you for joining us. Deidre, thank you for joining us. Stefan, thank you for joining us. We're going to pass the collection plate in a minute, but we're going to go ahead and get back to our host, Tasha.
Well, I did want to comment to that because I think that's a trick of the enemy. He keeps us so focused on the things that we don't have versus what we actually have right in front of us. And, and that's what causes that unbelief, because we're so worried about the things that we don't have. And trust me, I know that all too well, practicing gratitude and bringing the things closer to you that is already yours, but a lot of times is we focus so much on the things that we don't have, we lose sight of what's actually ours. And so I want to ask a question, because I know that, and I want to ask you, Brandi, about your singing, but I also want to ask you, Tone, because I know there's a lot of things that stereotypes about like women working together and
Yes.
about like being able to do something as great as what you guys have done here. So what could you speak to people to that narrative about women and both powerful women working together and creating something as beautiful as you guys did?
So Diana and I, we literally had T-shirts made like maybe 8, 9 years ago that said, um, what was it? No competition. What was it? Collaboration, not competition, right? So her and we've always been on that, in that space to where we are wanting and willing to collaborate rather than compete against each other. So I think when you have a group of women that's working together, the most important thing to understand and realize is to understand your strengths and understand your weaknesses. I understand Dr. Diana's strengths. She understands my strengths. I understand her weaknesses. She understands my weaknesses. And once we were able to do that, we were able to literally collaborate and work together on like literally multiple projects that we have in multiple businesses. Her and I have about 4 businesses together that we have no issues with, but that's only because where she's weak, I am strong, and where I am weak, she is strong. So that is what really carries a relationship. You can't walk into any partnership, whether it's with women or with men, thinking that you know everything, thinking that you can do everything. You have to understand yourself wholeheartedly and completely. And I think a lot of women that work with other women, and the jealousy and all that stuff comes in because they don't understand that you don't have to be jealous of your sister because she's better at you in one thing. You can work with your sister because guess what? You're better than your sister at something else. And if you guys can find out what those strengths and weaknesses are, then you can work together collaboratively and be able to create something great. But it's just so much competition when it comes to women in business. And I think that there's a lot of great business women out there and a lot of women out there that just need a little bit of help, but they don't know that you don't have to always operate in excellence with your sister. Your sister is there to help you in the areas that you need the help. Diana can talk and preach me under the table, right? But when it comes to the business documentation and finding money and resources and all of that, I got her hands down. And she'll tell you that herself. Like, my sister gonna make sure the business is taken care of. So once we realized what I'm strong in and what she's strong in, it was a power team from there on. It was the power of two. Like, oh, you got the business part and I got the social media part, or you got the finance part, okay, I got the media part. So we are always able to hone in on strengths and weaknesses and understand that that's what makes a beautiful partnership and relationship. Even in corporations, it's the same way. You got leadership because they're strong in certain areas, but that leadership cannot run a multi-million-dollar business without having the rest of the team that are handling areas that they're weak in. So that's my take on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. Yes, not collaboration, not competition. I love that.
Yeah.
That right there already is that's tough because you know it's hard, and especially with friends. You know, people who are friends outside of business, that has to be something. But staying in your lane, that is
Yeah,
something right
that's
there
it.
that is so important, and that works in all type of relationships, whether you know staying in your lane and knowing your strengths and knowing the other person's strengths. I think that is something that is you know, really important to know. I want to read some of the comments. Deidre said the hard part is some tend to be envious instead of collaborate to get in the right rooms with the right people. That is so true. And then she also said the world is already beating us down. No need to do it to each other. Like those are some really good points. And I think that that's something that we all, you know, can agree with. But Brandi, I wanted to ask you about your music. And I know with you speaking and also doing the music, like how are you able to like handle the stress of meeting the deadlines of doing both?
You know, there's this saying that God will make room for your gifts, and that's truly what's happened for me. You know, I have 2 kids, and I'm taking care of them by myself, you know, and I'm not complaining. There are days that it's really hard and it's tough, but things just always seem to pan out the way it's supposed to. I mean, even going back to when we filmed the show, I was filming another project. I'm not a part of that project. They went on to do great things. They're on Tubi as well too. But God knew where I needed to be and when. So, you know, you just have to be able to like follow the lead. I was listening to Sarah Jakes the other day, and her mom was talking about how one step at a time, you know, God had the lanterns around their ankles, and it was enough for them to see one step at a time. So if you're just taking one step in God's direction, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that.
Go ahead, Shonte, if you wanted to jump in. I don't want to hold up the mic.
When it comes to competitions, Brandi, like what made you just like step out of your comfort zone with being a singer and an actress? Like what made you go into that field and what gave you that confidence to just try that out?
So it's funny because I have been dropping like little motivational speeches on Instagram since you could only do 15-second videos. I don't know if y'all remember that. I was in hair school at one point and I was bullied so bad. And I wasn't bullied by younger girls. I was bullied by this older lady. Every day she had something to say. So I started posting these videos truthfully to motivate myself, and I knew that she could see it. Let's be honest, right? I knew that she was going to hear, "You didn't break me." And it started to become a thing to where instead of it being about her, it was more of a ministry for myself. And then I realized, like, as time went on, people would message me and say, "Brandi, thank you so much for this." People who didn't like the post or comment on the post would message me privately and say, "I really needed that today." And so I started to realize that this was bigger than me. And an old friend asked me to come and audition for the show, and I did. Like I said, I had no knowledge as to what I was really doing, other than I knew I wanted to speak and speak God's word. So yeah, competition has never been my thing, but I definitely stepped out on faith. I was very shy. I didn't talk to many people while we were filming. I kind of stayed to myself because I felt out of place, truthfully. Not because anybody made me feel out of place, but I, you know, down to the judges and Tone and looking at how everybody was just so well put together. I'm like, this ain't what I thought this was, but let me just keep on swinging. And round after round, God kept showing up for me.
I love it.
Absolutely. There was a couple of comments. Trust your process. Oof.
Yes.
Stefan, he put that in the comments, but that is something, is trust in the process. Oh my God. Like if man, if I could talk about trust in the process, I could go on for hours because that is like literally the life that I've been living the past few years, is like really trusting the process. You know, I feel like I've gone through a lot where God has just really given me favor. So like these past few years, just having to trust the process, that's really something. And then it says God will make room for your gift. Like absolutely he will. And I know that sometimes your gift will get you back in the room even if you get put out, because you're just there with someone else. Your gift will make room for you and get you back in the room. And so that is so awesome. And Brandi, we just thank you so much for being as encouraging as you are. And
Thank
you
you.
know, it's so amazing just to see how far you've come. Now I do want to ask another question before we move on. How would you consider that the speaking, do you consider that being one of your greatest accomplishments that allowed you to really step out? Like, so you said you stepped out on faith. Sorry about that, my background. You stepped out on faith. You're doing something that you've never imagined doing, something you never thought of doing, you know. And I know you started out with singing. So would you say that the competition was one of your biggest achievements so far?
Hands down, yes. And that's why, going back to the first question, it was so hard to be quiet about it for all this time, you know? But God really worked on me, and he really showed me a lot in the process, because I was starting to get caught up on people knowing, on having to be like, see, I'm this, I'm that. But in this time, God has showed me that he has already set aside who I am, where I'm going, and what I'm doing. I don't need these other people to validate me, to tell me that I'm great at this. I don't need anyone to say anything, because God has already spoken. He's whispered in my ear what it is that he designs for me to do. I am, you know, just humbly saying, I'm a really great singer. I'm a even better actress. But when I speak, when I get on stage, or when I'm talking to a group of friends, it's something takes over. Some call it the Holy Spirit, other call it the Spirit, whatever it may be, it takes over me. And I'm able to push through a word of motivation, a word of peace, a word of hope. After the competition, I started calling myself the hope dealer. You know, I spent time in federal prison. I have gone through so many things in my whole entire life, but it was only so that I could be a reminder to others that it's a second chance. Redemption is real. The reconstruction is real. So speaking by far is this has been my greatest accomplishment. Yes.
Listen, come on, y'all got collection plates that need to be passed around right now. They better stop playing with y'all, okay? They're gonna stop playing today. Do you hear me? They're gonna stop playing today. Yes. Wow. Listen, you said something. You know, I'm big on understanding where your applause needs to come from. Okay, and you just hit it on the head. I don't need nobody to applaud for me. I don't need the applause of people. I just need the applause of God, because he's the one who set the plan. So if he set the plan, I need to applaud him for setting the plan that he had for me all along that we didn't even know. God knew that you were going to be an empowered speaker. You might not have known, but he knew. So that's the key right there. That's the applause that we need. That's all the applause that we need. So I want to ask you this too, Brandi. Like, when it comes to people and pleasing people, what would you tell like a younger Brandi about worrying about what people got to say about you?
You know, the younger Brandi is in the other room. My daughter is 5 years old and she's getting ready to go to kindergarten. She looks like me, acts like me, and she wants friends just as bad as me. She's a perfectionist. She's such a beautiful person. And so I'm constantly trying to like coach her and guide her to know that I don't have any regrets. But if I had the opportunity to go back in the beginning of my life, I would always focus on who Brandi is. I would never try to bend. I would never try to fold. I would never try to walk into a room and make anyone like me. I would like myself. I would be kind to myself. I would love myself, and I would love God's children. There is so much pressure on us to be everything but who we are. I had posted, I didn't post it yet, but I made this video and I was saying it's so crazy that we live in an unperfect world, and the only perfect being is God. And we are so fixated on being perfect, whether it's our nose or our behind or our stomachs. There's so many things that we are constantly focusing on perfection when we came here to not be perfect. We are imperfect vessels. And so if I could tell my younger self anything, which I tell her every day, is focus on being who you are, because who you are is unique to this world and you are needed.
Absolutely. That is so good. I'm going to just take a second real quick because it's time for our commercial break. So just give us 1 second.
Hey Dreamers, my name is Maxie E. Norman, owner of Eleanor Maxwell LLC. I'm a broadcast media manager and show producer. I'm also a podcaster of a show called the Regina Kids Podcast, and I'm a 3-time self-published author. You heard me, 3 times self-published author. My first book, On My Broken Crayon Still Color, daily affirmation book, and a journal was Road to Motivate and Encourage. My second book, Love You More, Grieving Isn't Easy and Healing Hurts, is about the 5 stages of grief and how to jumpstart your process of healing. My new book, the trilogy, I Am Not Responsible for Your Tears, is the authentic guide to being happy. And it's about getting those 7 steps to being fully happy. All my books are available now on Amazon. And as always, we'll continue to glow through whatever it is we're going through.
Yes. All right. No, that's really good. I'm gonna read a couple of the comments. This is an amazing word she's speaking. Oh, somebody said, can we hear a little something, Brandi?
I'm saying anytime now. Can we hear a little something? I'll be like, oh, let me see. But yeah.
Look, if you feeling up to it now, tell them you accept challenges.
I accept challenges. Yeah.
Now, Brandi, Brandi, just send them to that what is it? Not iCloud, but SoundCloud and all of that. They can hear all of the stuff.
Spotify, right?
Look,
That's where you send
absolutely.
them. That's where you send them. Y'all can hear
I
whatever
love
y'all
that.
want
I love
on
that.
there.
She's very
there you
right.
go.
See? Boom.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to ask, I have to ask, Brandi, when you did I Deserve This, I'm going to tell y'all, listen, Tasha and I both watched the remain. I think we got up to episode 3 on our own, and she came for the red carpet event, and we set up and we watched the rest of the show together. And first of all, let me just say this. It's something about getting your sisters together and being in a room with another sister and watching the GOAT empowerment competition, y'all. Get y'all sisters together if y'all haven't already, and y'all watch this show together, because when I tell y'all it was a good time, it was a real good time. We had so many things that we was looking at faces, we was predicting stuff, like it was just lit, y'all. So when you did I Deserve This, I'm gonna tell you what I heard. I remember when I was young, I was young, I was like in my 20s, I was in an abusive relationship. And I remember always looking in the mirror and saying, I don't deserve this. But when you stood up and you was like, I deserve this, I felt that thing in my heart so big. Like, she really does deserve all that she is claiming. Like, it was, you said it with so much, and that's all she said, y'all. That was the first, I deserve this. And when she said it with so much power and conviction that I believed at that very moment that she deserved everything that she was about to. Like, she was claiming territory. She was taking back the stuff that the devil thought he stole from her, y'all. Like, it was serious. So in that moment, Brandi, when you did that, what were the feelings behind that speech?
Since you guys have watched the entire show, I was playing it safe before. Every time I spoke before, I was trying to, I'm real good at that.
It was cute.
Even at the premiere,
sis.
it was cute.
You
even
was
at
real
the
cute.
premiere, listen, even at the premiere, I was like, I'm hiding behind my boyfriend. Shout out to my Nemo. I'm like, dang, baby, it's a lot of people in this room. I have a tendency to kind of want to hide myself, and that's just me being honest.
Okay.
And so when I did the I Deserve This, it was like, I'm not here for anybody anymore. I'm here for what we came to do. And I was serious, because I never looked in the mirror and told myself I didn't deserve this, but all of the things that I surrounded myself with was an indicator that I didn't think I deserved anything great. Not love, not friendship, not money, not anything, so I had put myself in all of these predicaments to where I wasn't acting as God's daughter. I wasn't acting as a princess. I was acting as though I was less than. And in that moment, I cut ties with that. Now, it's not to say that after filming, I didn't still go back to that. I still have moments to where I have to daily remind myself that I deserve this. But in the moment, I was feeling set free. I spoke about being in prison, what I was in prison for. I had never really touched on that. Never wanted to be too dirty. Never wanted people to really know my past. I had so much shame up inside of me. I had let society, but more than anything, I had let myself tell me I didn't deserve a second chance. Well, you do, Brandi. You deserve it. You deserve to live a life of happiness. You deserve to no longer live in fear for what you did or what was done to you. And so in that moment, I was set free. And so it took me a long time to watch the show. I hadn't even watched the show at the premiere. But I heard Shametria said she hadn't watched the show either. And I said, okay, that's something there. I said, let me step out of that and let me watch it too. So let me watch it, because I've been doing the same thing. I haven't watched it because of the place that I was in. And so watching it, and again, even freed myself. And we're getting ready to release the single of I Deserve It, and just hearing it play on repeat, that's powerful. And that wasn't me. That was for all of us. We all deserve to live a life of happiness.
Absolutely.
I definitely love that, Brandi. Tome, I just wanted to ask a quick question. Like, being a producer of a show, and all the trials and the tribulations that comes with that, like, how do you maintain as well? I think we asked Brandi that already, but how do you maintain with being behind the scenes and just putting on something as big as this?
Thank you. That's a great question. And I think that if you had have asked me that question a couple of years ago, I would have told you, oh my God, this is so hard. And like, it's like people is not going to believe in this. And oh my God, because of that doubt and that fear that I talked about earlier. But the longer that I was in it and the longer we were in it, and then to see and witness the outcome, because I was in front of the camera and I was behind the scenes, but to see like all of the work that was put into the project and to actually see it into fruition, and like to get, like you guys got the TV version, like we went through several edits, being like the production, executive producing and all of that behind the scenes. And then the creator, Dr. D, she's such a perfectionist. So we sent those episodes back 1,000 times. So to like, but to be able to really see everything into fruition is so like, I don't even understand. Like, I don't even to this day, like, I can't tell you how I feel. Like, I feel happy, and I'm excited that it's finally complete and the project is out for review to the world. But it was very hard and it was very difficult. But it's now I feel like, oh my God, all of that hard work paid off, and now we've come up with a project that the world can see and love and enjoy watching, and can get that story from Brandi, and see like
I think we might have lost
can
you.
speak well, and she was so nice. And hey girl, because I was the host, so I got to get to know everybody, and get
Yes.
in everybody's business. But to hear her story, because I was behind the scenes, guys, so I didn't get to hear her do any of the what you guys saw. I
Yes.
only saw the out, like the made it to the next round, so I didn't really get to see and hear Brandi until like I think season 6, right? Was it like the last?
Yeah.
That was the only
Yeah.
time
It's like the
I was in the
last
room maybe
one.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the 5th and 6th episodes, I think I was actually physically in the room to hear them, like amazed, just like you guys were. And I was like, oh my God, all of that came from this beautiful, quiet, quaint girl, prison, what? Like a child, what? Like I was completely shocked, like everyone else was watching the entire series unfold. But yeah, it was a lot of work, but I'm excited and happy that we finally got it out and that you guys are enjoying it. And I'm getting interviews and stuff like this now. So it's a cool experience.
Absolutely. I think that is so awesome. So I have a question for both of you guys, because there's always, okay, so Brandi, I could tell just how like you said, you hide a little bit. I,
Yeah.
I could tell I could tell you're not the one that just comes straight out and just in the forefront. So I have a question for both of y'all, because now that you guys are more in the spotlight, you guys are more in a position, like you said, Tone, where you're getting more asked to interview more and do more things. How are you guys holding up with being in the spotlight, with like remaining humble, or wanting to hide, or being asked to be on multiple interviews? So how are you guys dealing with being in the spotlight?
Brandi, you can go.
Okay, thanks. So for me, I'm just having to accept who God has called me to be. That's the biggest thing. I don't remember his name. I took a picture with him. He was a wonderful gentleman at the event, and I said, "Oh, you trying to hide like me?" He said, "Yeah." But in that moment, I was like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's communicate. Let's talk. Let's bond, because this is what we're here for. I never wanted to be the person who thought I was too much. I never wanted to I always wanted to be down, if that makes sense. And I know that sometimes maybe the way that I looked made me get some extra treatment. And that's just me being honest. There is such a thing as pretty treatment. I don't care what anybody says. If I get pulled over by the police officer, I'm a black woman, but I'm a pretty black woman. So my experience is a tad bit different. But I never wanted to hang on to that. I never wanted that to be the reason why I'm getting auditions. I never wanted that to be the reason why I'm casted. But I'm realizing in the coming weeks that it's because of what God has for me. I'm not trying to do anything other than be God's child, God's chosen one. And so I think staying humble and remembering where you come from and where your gifts come from is the key to remaining humble and making sure that in all things that you do, you serve God. You're going to stay fine.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
yeah, I would totally acquiesce to what Brandi just said. Just having the ability to just be humble and be grateful and thankful for the opportunity. I don't, I don't feel any different, like with people treating me a little bit differently, because like she just said, there is a such thing as a pretty girl thing. So all my life I've been treated special and different and all of that, which can be a curse as well, because now you're living in wanting to be perfect and expecting all of these things that might not be my plan or the plan that God has for me in my life. So I literally remain humble. And I'm a mom of 5. So, I don't have time to get the big head, because I get checked instantly. So I can be at the meet the cast party and everybody want autographs and pictures. But when I stepped back into my house, like I was up the next day making eggs and kids were crying and somebody had a runny nose and then my husband had attitude. So you understand, like, so my reality is checked on a regular basis. Like, yes, I can be Tone Nicole to the public and on social media, but I know who I really am, and who I really am is a creator, and I'm a mother, and I love working and creating. So that's the space that I have to stay in, because I'm going to be humble no matter what. When I come home and those kids, and I got a set of twins and a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old and 2 3-year-olds and a husband and my brother staying with me, like I got a whole lot to be humble about. So I can't be out here thinking I'm better than anybody, because when I walk into my home, my children, my husband, my family, they humble me immediately. Like, yeah, take those heels off, put on your house shoes, and we're hungry.
I love it.
Dang, it was so cute being Tony Nicole for like 4 hours. But now I'm just mommy. I'm just babe. I'm just daughter. My mom's like, did you, make my hair appointment? You know what I'm saying? So my regular life, I can't escape from that. Like, I can't. No matter how hard I try. I would never be able to escape from just being a regular soul and a regular being on this earth. And I love that. I love that I can be Tony Nicole to the outside world and just be regular. LaDena, regular Tonette.
Yes. Yep.
Exactly.
Yes,
LaDena
absolutely.
knows the truth.
Yes, I love it. I love the fact that you said it, because it's just like that. Like, you can see her and she be out, but you got to know her to know that she's a mom, and she get it out the mud. Don't get it twisted. So I do love that about her and Diana. I've watched them both. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll get up and they'll do what they need to do, but they're moms and they're business women, and they're coaches, and they're doing all of these things. So it's not just like they're just doing one thing. And one thing I love about them since the beginning, especially from the first time that I met Dr. Diana, it was never like a superstar effect. It was more of a real effect. When I tell you, like, the way that she speaks and can speak.
Coach L, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. It's just the way that, like when Dr. Diana speaks, she's actually speaking from a real perspective. I remember, she was talking about women, and she was talking about, how women got a PhD in hate. You know what I'm saying? And she really just keep it real. How I want to ask the question about transparency, because I know being an empowerment speaker, even for you, Brandi, being a singer, being an actress, and doing interviews and things like that. How big is transparency to you?
Transparency is the key to what we do as artists. If you're not being completely honest with who you are and your experiences, then you're not really creating art. You're imitating what you've seen from someone else. I feel like we've been given these gifts in order to be able to set others free, no matter what it is. Because like I said, when I used to do the 15-minute speeches, people would come back around that didn't like it, didn't comment on it, but they needed me to know that touched them. So transparency is key to being the most artistic person that I could possibly be.
I love it. I love it. Stefan said, being humble will not only make you a kind and compassionate person, but it helps you accept the reality that you'll never be the best person in the room, no matter how hard you try.
That's good.
That is good. That's real, real good. I also want, Brandi, can you tell the people, I know that you have your CD coming out. Can you tell them a little bit more about what's next for Brandi?
Yes, so I'm actually, like you said, I'm working on the empowerment album right now as we speak. Shout out to Dr. Diana. She's been such a blessing. Her and Tomei, these are like really women that I look up to. They're so beautiful. They're so poised. I remember when I first saw them, I was like, because you can see people on TV and they look good. You're like, oh yeah, that's TV. But they were so beautiful. But anyway, so I'm working on the empowerment album. I'm also working on releasing my first book. I've been holding it in for too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. And then I'm also working on new music as well. I just released my video Fairy Tales for my song off my album Bloom, and we're still running that up. But yeah, so we're just working on great things now that I'm in this new space. I'm gonna be doing a lot of public speaking as well too.
Awesome. Can you give everyone your handle as far as they can reach you on social media?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Brandi Little underscore. Brandi is spelled with an I, and you can find me everywhere else at Brandi Little Music. My album is called Bloom. It's charted in the UK. The song Different. It was on the top charts for 2 weeks, but I gotta speak that
Come
every time I
through.
can.
Come
And like I said,
through.
we just released the video for my song Fairy Tales. So it's Brandi Little Music on all platforms, but Instagram is just Brandi Little underscore.
Love it. Love it. Now, when you get that book published and get it out there, please come back and see us because we would
I would love
love to
to.
have you on there,
Yes,
on here
I
for
will
your
be here.
book. Tone, can you tell the people what you're working on next, what you have going on? Tell them all about, Virgo Associates, all of that good stuff.
Yes. As I said in the beginning, I am a mompreneur. That just means I'm a mom in business, and I also help other moms that want to get into business to create the companies of their dreams, no matter how big or how small it is. I am one of the co-founders and partnering owners of Virgo Associates, which is one of Atlanta's premier coaching firms for all businesses, and that's co-owned by Dr. Diana Watley. We do have a book called Let's Be Crystal Clear, which you can find now on Amazon, which is awesome. It's a great read. Coach L will tell you all about it. And then I have a company for my kids. So when I say a mompreneur, serial entrepreneur, that's who I am. I'm not all over the place. I know exactly what I'm doing. I have a company for my kids called Teach Shirts for Tots, which is an educational t-shirt line for toddlers ages 2 to 8 years old. And please be on the lookout for Tony Nicole, the executive producer. We have about 10 projects in our roster right now that we are shopping around to get on other major networks. So just keep that name in the forefront of your head because there's more to come. And that's it, y'all. You can find me on Tone Nicole on everything. TONNAE NICOLE. Tone Nicole on all major platforms. That's it.
I love it. Let me tell y'all something about Tone. Tone is the reason why I think like I am the best at voiceovers because baby, okay? Baby. She can rock a voiceover like none other. I'll be like, oh yes, I can do this. Okay.
Yes, I had her on the radio. I had her on our radio show. I had a radio show a few years ago, and LaDena was one of the first people that I even brought on my show.
Yes.
And she killed it. And I was like, sis, you need your own radio show. You need to do this by yourself. You need to do. And literally, was it 2 years? And it was like in fruition. And I was like, oh my God, he really did it.
Yeah,
and
it was nobody but God. But when I tell yes, so I thank you because Tone, you are definitely one of my biggest inspirations for why I got into this radio podcast game. So I really appreciate everything that you have done for me and showed me, as well as Dr. Diana Watley. Again, y'all, listen, we need you guys to go on Tubi and make sure that you are watching the GOAT Empowerment Competition where Miss Brandi Little is the winner of the competition. Amen. All right. Amen. So y'all go ahead and y'all find her on social media. Go ahead and follow her and Tone and Dr. Diana Watley, all the cast members. Go and follow them. And please, please, please keep this show #1 on Tubi. It is for us and by us. Okay. We got to support each other. If we don't do nothing else, we got to support each other. So please go ahead and see what they are doing on the empowerment competition on Tubi. It is #1. We want to keep it that way. All right.
Yeah.
And I do want to just say, when I watched it, when I first started watching it, I was like, okay, I wanna watch this. But it was like I really was glued to it and I really enjoyed it. And I'm not just saying that just because,
Thank
like,
you.
I really enjoyed it. And it's not even that, it was just so much encouragement in it. And then I'll just say, like, when Dina said hanging out, getting your girls together and watching it, that is so real. Like, she was laughing so hard at me because I was just like, I am so enjoying this right now, you know.
Oh,
But
that totally means a lot to us. And can I just say one thing before we end this? I
yes,
do want to give a shout out to our judges on the show. We had Dr. Joe Johnson, which is our peak performance coach. He's amazing. He's awesome. He's based out in Mexico right now
Hey.
with his family. We had Stevie Baggs Jr., which is one of our judges, and he's also a host. And you can find him on shows like Ruthless and all kind of Tyler Perry shows, stage plays. And then we also had Rachel G. Woodson, which is our international coach, relationship coach, the wife coach. She's absolutely amazing. She's been on BET and all sorts of major platforms. And then we also have one of our executive producers, Mr. Delapo Enricola. And he's absolutely amazing. He has a ton of shows on Tubi, on Netflix, on Amazon. So he's one of the super producers out there that's making some big moves. So I had to shout my cast out. So shout out to all of them. And guys, please go ahead and follow them as well. Please, please, please.
Absolutely. Well, we want to
absolutely.
go ahead, Tasha. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying absolutely. I was agreeing.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you close it out, sis.
Okay, so real quick, before we close out, I just have one more question. What keeps you guys motivated daily?
Go, Tony.
Well, okay. What keeps me motivated daily is my family. Yeah, my family means so much to me. They mean everything to me. Like I said, I have 5 children. I have an adult son that's 26 years old, and then I have a 7, 6, and 2 twins, a set of twins that are 3 years old, and my husband. So that's what keeps me going on a daily basis, and just knowing that I want to build something that they would be proud of and that I can hand over to them. I'm huge and a big fan of generational wealth. So if I got to be the first person in my family to start how to really create the generational wealth at being 41 years old with 5 kids and a husband and all that fun stuff, I am proudly stepping into that role to be able to create generational wealth for my family, their kids, their kids' kids, and keep it going. So that's my daily motivation. I have a daily reminder, and that's my thing. Like, I'm looking at these babies every single day, like, y'all gonna be good, and your family's gonna be good too. And if I can make it happen, your family's gonna be good.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Yes. Look, we are all about generational curse breakers, being the first in
Absolutely.
our families to create that generational
Yes,
wealth,
ma'am.
to be able to pass it down to our kids and the kids after. And baby, we all about that. So you keep
Yes.
going, because I'm telling you, that is one of the main things for me as well. Brandi, what keeps you motivated daily?
Mine is the same exact. I have 2 kids, and a lot of you may or may not know I was adopted. So, starting my family, my children, we're the start of something great. And so, my motivation is daily too, making sure that the children see me working hard after my dreams. I told my son the other day, I was like, well, you can go to middle school and you can say, my mom won the GOAT. His response was, wasn't that 2 years ago?
Yes,
The kids
really.
will humble you quick, right? He talking about something, but didn't you film that 2 years ago? I'm like, they don't know that.
We
But
did not put you
so
on blast, Brandi.
he did. So when you were talking about the kids will humble you, I was like, yes, they will. But for me, it's just making sure that my family is starting something that is to be talked about in great light. I could have left this world on bad terms and in a bad reference as to who I was and what I stood for. So my motivation is making sure that my children and my family and the kids are great. So everything Tomei said.
Yes.
Absolutely. We love that so much. That is so awesome. We thank you guys so much for coming on the show. We appreciated this conversation. You guys have been just an awesome addition to Kingdom Chicks on tonight, and we just truly appreciate it. Make sure you guys go and follow us on all platforms wherever you can find podcasts. Kingdom Chicks Reconstructed. We are there. So make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media platforms. And Dina, if y'all want to say anything before we close out.
I just want
Yes,
to
we
say
are.
y'all
Oh,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, sis.
I just want to say y'all continue to keep making us proud, because like the confidence that you guys are having, like just being on this platform, like, is just shining through. I see God all over your lives, and I just say continue to stay encouraged.
Love it, love it, love it. We love you all for coming on. We thank you for joining us this evening. As she just said, you could follow us on KCR Podcast. We are on all platforms. So go ahead and download and subscribe to our YouTube channel, KCR Podcast. Good night.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night,
Thank you.
guys.